Status.
It's no good, Skipper. I don't know the codes.
Don't give me excuses. Give me results.
Let's go.
We're back with Worst Takes Part 2. Seeing as you guys enjoyed the last one, I decided to delve into the depths of social media again and dig for some gold. And you can call Twitter a goldmine, because it has infinite gems. Where's Max without his rocket ship? He won multiple races without the fastest car. He won his first championship without a rocket ship. He is P2 with the 4th fastest car. Man, this underdog gimmick really needs to stop. Okay, for context, this tweet was after the Dutch Grand Prix, where Max finished 22 seconds behind Lando. And if you were talking about Monza, I can give you that. They were genuinely 4th fastest there. But for Zandvoort, the reaching is crazy. Verstappen fans felt like the world was ending, because Max didn't have the best car for just a few minutes, and they had a generational head loss. And when I say generational, I really mean that. Since Lando became somewhat of a threat, and let me just emphasize the word somewhat again, they've been crashing out harder than the man himself whenever he's in an ISO with Lewis. I'm telling you, the switch up they've had on Lando is crazy. He really went from being their favorite best bud to public enemy number 1. Lando won that race by a country mile. And you know F1, they had to glaze this man like crazy. It's so funny as well how the Sky F1 commentators start hyping him up as well. The nanosecond he touches the track.
I think he's come out there today with the attitude of said, listen guys, this is my game and I am him. That's the fine thing. The way he's gesturing, shoulders back. He's just the way he walks around the pitch makes you think so. This guy knows, believes and understands that he's the guy.
To add more salt to the wound, his team radio after the race is like, simply lovely, eh? And I know he said that before after a good result, but you add in the extra context of dunking on Max at his home race, I ain't gonna lie, that's kinda crazy. I'm not mad at it though. We need some more trash talking in the sport. This doesn't feel like that long ago for me, but I remember the times where Ferrari and Mercedes were going back and forth in 2018. Lewis won in Ferrari's back garden and Merck said,
about that yellow mark tyre all the way home, just to show our Italian colleagues.
Man, bring back actual rivalries, because I can't take this Verstappen v Norris seriously. Utter woke nonsense. But having said that, I don't think some fans would be able to handle it, because Lando really had some Max fans so rattled they started writing out entire college dissertations about this tiny little jab. Nah, I ain't reading all that. I'm happy for you though, or sorry that happened. While we're on the topic of Verstappen, let's talk about this. Max would crumble if he was in Ferrari if he had to go through the same BS that Charles has gone through since 2021. I wouldn't say crumble per se. There's not really much that can make Verstappen completely break. But there's no doubt he'd lose his sanity. Because listening to some of the things he says to his current race engineer, I can't even imagine how much he'd tweak out if he had, okay, we had a checking in his ear 24/7.
Status.
It's no good, Skipper. I don't know the codes.
Don't give me excuses. Give me results. Navigation. All right. Let me think. And shut him up!
Yeah, knowing Max, especially in the position he's in now, he wouldn't bother putting up with it and just head for the door. That's not really a worst take to be fair, it's actually a really good one. But asking questions like these, and I look at the account and it's motorsport.com. I thought you guys were supposed to be professional. These kind of questions have me in stitches, because as good as he is, Max ain't making up that kind of deficit, man. Tsunoda was the fastest qualifier for AlphaTauri in Zandvoort, and he was still half a second slower than Checo, who is the number 2. And the difference in race pace is even bigger. If anything, this is just disrespect to Yuki, because you're telling me he would perform worse than Checo if he was in the Red Bull?
Stop the cap.
To be fair, Checo has been decent lately. He's been finishing a bit closer to Max in the races, now compared to the start of the season. After the Italian Grand Prix, he talked about how, interestingly, his teammate has been experiencing the same issues he's been dealing with for the entire year. And obviously, I'm in no position to comment, because I don't know what these guys are dealing with in the car, nor do I know what the actual situation has been like within Red Bull. But I don't know. To me, it just seemed like a bit of a cop-out for some of his bad performances. Like, it's okay to say you were just struggling initially without insinuating that you've been driving different cars. But anyway, here's a quick Fernando Alonso intermission. Woohoo! Here's my worst take. Fernando Alonso was better at riding scooters than he is driving cars, because this entrance was clean. Seriously though, I'm gonna need Newey to cook up a good car for him. Not only is an Alonso title fight long overdue, but I need him to stay just for these theatrics alone. One guy I'd like to see him go up against again for one last ride is his teammate from 2007. And I could just tell that Monza was an emotional weekend for bro. Just listen to these interviews after qualifying.
It's so tight at the minute between the top 4 teams. Any kind of explanation as to why maybe you weren't able to get everything out of it today?
Yeah, because I'm not very good. Simple as.
And the team deserve better. Maybe they'll get that with Kimi.
Hope you have a better day tomorrow.
just not very good at qualifying.
Hold on, go and repeat that. You're bad at qualifying.
Hamilton crosses the line of 1:36.0. Wow, was that fast?
Bro has the most pole positions and still thinks he's ass. The other drivers must have been rolling their eyes, bro. This is like those kids who get 100% in every single test, then the millisecond they see a 99, they start crying. Like, my guy, chill. It is never that deep. Lewis has always been very self-critical and has extremely high expectations of himself, so I'm not surprised. But when he started talking about Kimi Antonelli and how Mercedes might get better performances with him, it felt like there was something else playing on his mind. I think what he said there just goes to show that he never wanted to leave Mercedes. It was Mercedes who forced him into leaving since they wanted to put Antonelli or even Max in place of him. Because offering a 7-time world champion a 1+1 contract is crazy. What's even crazier is this. Yeah, that dude is the same guy that dragged McLaren from being the worst team on the grid to the best in the span of just 1 year. Some Norris fans are so funny, bro, because they just be calling anybody the GOAT these days. That Piastri overtake was one of the best things that could have happened. I don't know what you guys expected. He literally tweeted a day before the race, "We can have some fun tomorrow." And with that phase 2, oh nah, he's moving like Anthony Mackie. You just know he's up to something. Not only was it a wake-up call for Lando to start defending his positions harder, to the point where he started self-roasting, but it's also funny to see his fans collectively lose their heads on social media. I know you guys have been through a lot though. Anytime Lando even breathes wrong, there'll be someone that makes a meme about it that gets thousands of likes. I'm telling you, Norris hate has crazy juice. But come on, bruh. When has Oscar ever helped Lando this year? May I remind you of when Oscar led his teammate through during his home race in Australia? Mind you, this was for a podium. Or what about in Canada, when he effectively secured a P2 finish for Norris by defending the Mercedes drivers extremely well? Under the safety car, Lewis and George put on a fresh set of tyres to attack till the end. And considering they finished just a second behind, Oscar played his role incredibly well. Had he not defended the way he did, George would have been P2 and Lewis likely P3. Or in Miami, when he didn't get the full set of upgrades that Lando did. And I'll never forget how they did my boy dirty in Hungary. That first win should have been celebrated way more than it was. I'm glad he put his foot down in Monza. And for what it's worth, here's Oscar himself saying that when the time is right and McLaren ask him to, he'll help his teammate win the Drivers' Championship.
Ultimately, I race for McLaren, and if they need me to help with the team's objectives and whether that is winning a world championship with Lando in the drivers' standings, then I'll do what's asked of me. Later in the year, if that's a realistic thing, then yes, I'll do my part. But for now, because you get 25 points for a win, it doesn't take that much to be in a similar place to Lando in the driver's standings. So if I get called for it, I'll do it. But until then, I'll do as best as I can to finish as high as I can.
Vettel deserved the penalty at Canada in 2019. Alright, this is more of a controversial opinion than a bad take, but I still want to talk about it. Because I'm not going to lie, I think enough time has passed such that the collective outrage that existed at the time has died down, and that maybe people can accept that the penalty awarded was fair. Now, was it harsh? Most definitely. I mean, Vettel had nowhere to go. The nature of that corner, with the exit being very close to a wall, and the fact that he was just coming off the grass, made the car very difficult to control. But having said that, Lewis forced him into a mistake by putting him under a lot of pressure. No doubt, it took a lot of excitement away from a race that was unfolding so well, because nobody wants to see a race won like that. The fans of the track were actually booing at the time, mainly because I think Mercedes had dominated the first few races, and this was the first time they were properly being challenged since Bahrain. In my opinion, I think the stewards should have just asked Vettel to let Hamilton past, since he did rejoin in an unsafe manner. Whether deliberate or not, intention is not the deciding factor here. But yeah, if he just let Lewis through, then the FIA not hand out a 5-second penalty, then they could have just continued to fight it out until the checkered flag. Then we wouldn't have had this big of a mess. That's just what I think anyway, but if you disagree, feel free to tell me that I'm wrong. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give the video a like, share it with friends, and subscribe to the channel if you'll need to get my latest videos in the future. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.